We're going to start this meeting. So
Yes,
let's,
that is a
Stephanie, why don't
great
you read your
segue.
disclosure? We're on a tight time frame today. We're backed up against this call, and this is the last organizational call before DD Day. So Stephanie, take it away.
You got it. Well, first of all, I always like to kick the meeting off and say thank you so much for spending an hour on a Friday. We do know as families what that means. Our group here is We the People by the People for all the people, and we are a family-led, family-driven advocacy group for developmental disabilities. Our mission in this group is to connect with our local legislators, share our stories, with the aim to create some positive legislation. And boy, oh boy, are we within our mission. So today is March 7th. We have officially entered into legislative session, started on the 4th, and it has been very busy because there are quite a few bills with our group in mind. And next Tuesday, March 11th, is Developmental Disability Awareness Day in the Capitol. The majority of this meeting is going to be planning that because we are headed up there. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it to one of the two of you, Tom or Nicole. I don't know. Go get Tom first, then Nicole.
Yeah.
Uh, and we're going to go right into that. I want to make sure that everyone on this call knows that from 4 to 5 o'clock, Family Cafe has a webinar called Let's Talk. And I think Nicole's going to put the link to register in the chat. Thank you. Because this is a high level policy discussion that we don't really that's not our thing. Our thing is to share our personal stories. But what Family Cafe does is every Friday during session and even a week after session, they go through the events of the week so that we all get to stay clued in. But their meeting is from 4 to 5, and so I want to make sure that we are able to get through our stuff and hop on to be able to participate in their meeting.
Well,
So
with that in mind, then you know, on the legislative process, it didn't start last Tuesday. It started months and months and months ago, and it continued from last year. And the stories and the delegation meetings and the individual face-to-faces and the technical assistance and information provided to staff that developed this massive tidal wave of bills that are related to developmental disabilities is really important. So, in part of that awareness is, this group kind of comes with a different set of opportunities. We have a freedom to tell the story and just to tell the story. And our truth has been incredibly impactful. And the truth is why meaningful legislation occurs is because of the voices of people and families and the truth. So in Tallahassee, we're going there in part to show the face of disabilities, of families, but also we show up very organized, very analytically engaged, not as just so poor pitiful parents, but of actively engaged participants in the process, giving meaningful input on legislation, being willing to be at hearings, being able to participate as experts to people in the legislative process, and that's what's occurring. Things like at the 4 o'clock call, Stephanie, who pretends she's not a wonk, is wonkier than you'd ever believe. She takes a developmental disabilities APD bill and breaks it down in incredible detail enough that they asked her to join the call to go over it at 4 o'clock, which she will.
wonk,
And
wonk.
wonk wonk, but
I
the
don't know what
point
the wonk
is,
is, but
if you don't have a solution to the problem, you're just complaining. When you engage in the solution, you are leaders. And that's what this is, what's going on. So we're going to Tallahassee, not for the day, but because every day is developmental disabilities in our houses. And what our goal is to be able to communicate that message so it does differentiate us from other populations, other issues. Melissa has focused a great deal of attention, quite appropriately, on developmental disabilities, as a really unique, complex, wonderfully challenging population in Florida. And the messaging of this group and the experience of people that are involved, um, it's really important that we are there for the message. Another thing that we're showing up in Tallahassee this time that will really help everybody here is Stephanie, in her madness, also was asked if you were a legislator and you didn't know anything about APD and the waiver and all this kind of stuff, what should we know? And on our page and on the YouTube page now, there is a incredibly detailed, in-depth 45-minute almost narrative of different elements of the agency, of the law, of the history, of the funding, what people need to know. I encourage you, if you need to, while you're driving to Tallahassee, if you're coming, play that bad boy because it's very insightful to make you informed. In Tallahassee, what are we going to do? So if you've never been to the Capitol before, the first thing I would say is be smart about your shoes because it's a lot of walking, and then it's more. And it's a lot of waiting, it's a lot of standing, it's a lot of wandering, it's a lot of being down a lot of long hallways and thinking you're lost, and then finally you're there. Um, but we also have a couple of home bases for us, which really makes a big difference. So as you enter the Capitol, you go into what's called the Rotunda. And there's a beautiful mural on the top of the ceiling, and the floor to seal is in the lobby, and it's got these balconies, and we're up on the second floor in that rotunda area where we will have an exhibit table. So when you come through the initial security, just go up to the rotunda, and there you'll into the second floor, and there you'll find us. We'll be set up, check in. Also understand that we can't give you all that's going to be going on, exactly when it's going on, because we don't know yet, because they don't know yet until they know we don't know. And so we are conceptually well scheduled, and Nicole will go through that. The other thing that's a big deal in the Capitol, if you're a first-time visitor, is things like where are the bathrooms? How do you navigate around? And so one of the nice things about coming to the table is if you're a veteran, we can hook you up with someone who needs you. If you're a rookie, come to the table, we'll get you hooked up. There will be things that you can do. Not everybody is comfortable in speaking. Some people are there to see, to watch, to admire, to respect, and approach this different ways. We respect however way you want to engage. It's not everybody's got to be a spokesperson. Everybody's got to say the right thing. Don't worry about that. What's really important is you made the effort to go there and that you can hand people things that really deep down. So having a handout about this legislative university about developmental disabilities. Wow, you showed up with some really deep knowledge that you can provide people. Now we're in the Capitol. We're going to show up. There's going to be opportunities. We're scheduling or in the process of scheduling opportunities to have different representatives and senators speak to us, welcome us. We will also be visiting offices. There'll be some hearings that will be going on that we'll be viewing those as well or attending those. Again, so what the idea is when you show up Tuesday morning, come to the desk because then you're going to get the latest, greatest, hot off the press. Here's the schedule as we know it today. Okay. When you've done, so how that activity works out, there will also be all the state and some national organizations that will be also exhibiting in the Rotunda. And it is an excellent opportunity to network, to educate, to inform them about our organization, build friendships, relationships, collaborations, really, really important opportunities. Um,
Wait,
one,
before one more second, I'm going to interrupt you. Come here, model. So I wanted to say one of the things that would be really wonderful if you have it is to wear orange because orange is the color for developmental disabilities, and I have a stud here who's gonna, can you see him?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tilt
Yeah.
up a little higher.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Hey, there we go. We got to get
Okay.
the beard and smileys and
He's
everything.
gonna go play music now. But we got these awesome shirts that say we wear orange for March for Developmental Disabilities. I had talked to some of our parents who are like, I'm not wearing that. I'm gonna wear this and it has orange in it, or I don't have something. And Nicole has a few things. I'm gonna bring a few things, so don't stress it. But this is also a way to identify us. What a cool color, because orange stands out. All right. He was going to
So
music.
there goes the marketing woman crazy thing, and I love it, and that's part of it. So again, we're at the Capitol. It's a big thing. Parking is an undertaking in its own right. It can be an adventure just getting from where you park to where you're in the front door, getting through security, getting up to the rotunda, getting the agenda, meeting the people in the various things, and then finding out where is our meeting room. Because that's the other major upgrade is we actually have a clubhouse, a meeting room, a place to host people to come, a place to be able to have a beautiful lunch sponsored by Fino that will be in the House Office Room 209, correct?
House
And
Room 209, and the Florida Developmental Disability Council, I don't think anyone's on from there. They have the room we had last year, which is Senate Room 42. They do have a lunch there, and we'll get more details on that. But there'll be some meetings there that we're just kind of gonna, speak with one voice. Have some senators on the Senate side, have some House members on the House side, and really kind of divide, conquer, and unify.
And you know what? That is also a reflection of the focus of our issues, in that a few years ago we were all eating outside in the cold, and now we each have meeting rooms in both houses, and that's a sign of respect and awareness and commitment, and it's a really important part. So in our agenda, we'll also have a period of time where we'll have a buffet type lunch of sandwiches, hot and cold sandwiches, salads, water, that'll be available for anybody that wants it. If you need
Well, no, no, no,
anything,
no, no, no.
anybody that wants it
You're
that signs
coming,
up that's
that
registered.
signs up, because we do have to order this stuff by today.
Yep.
So, Nicole, do you have the Sign Up Genius link? If you are coming to Tallahassee and you would like some lunch that day, we do have, Fino has been an incredible uh cheerleader for us and wants to make sure that we all have a space where we can relax and eat, because food is important. But in order to get that, you have to sign up, because we will
This is
not.
last call, because I'm making the call right after this. I've already got a projected number. Let's see if it's going to grow any further than that. So the good news is one of the big challenges in the Capitol when you've never been there before is, where do I eat? Where do I go to the bathroom? And here we are. We've got places to, restroom nearby, a place to eat, food, water, a place to sit down, a place to gather, and a place for people to come to us. All those are major upgrades. And so then in the afternoon, that's a window that's somewhere between 11:30 to 1:30. We're going to try to also make sure that people are aware when we have scheduled visits that we have people there, because they like to say a few words. They want to say a few words to people. So we'll make that a great opportunity, because quite honestly, that can be a much better opportunity sometimes than just walking the hallways. If they're coming to you to talk to you, that's a pretty darn serious level of attention. So our day will evolve. The key things is Nicole was giving very good directions of where you can park, how to get in. We're on the second floor. We've got lunch. We've got access to where to go to the bathrooms and those kinds of things. What I would also last and last encourage for yourself is call Monday morning to your offices and let them know you're going to be in Tallahassee on Tuesday if you're going to be there and you'd love to stop by. just so they know that a constituent is coming by. And whether it's your meeting with an aide or your meeting with the representative or senator, the fact that you came by, they write it down, you've got a voice, you can follow up. God, sorry, I missed you in the office and loop back. So we've got a lot to cover today, but I hope that gives you kind of a sense of the most important thing is we're going to be showing all those stories from last year, videos from this year, resources to hand out that'll be on the information, bill analysis, and more stuff than you could ever say, but you can hand out information that they can do it. Your presence and your truth will be so important, and we are so grateful for everybody that's making the effort to do that. The lunch opportunity is great. The little bit of travel money potentially available. We're still working on that, so reach out if that's essential. And for now, what I like to do is turn it over to Nicole because she's been working on a lot of the logistical side of it too. So thank you, Nicole.
Well, hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'll try not to go too quick. I wanted to share, there's been a couple of links posted in the comments, so go ahead and grab those. The PowerPoint presentation that Tom mentioned earlier, fantastic resource for your legislators when you meet with them. Also, the sign up for DD Day that Tom just mentioned. If you wanted to join us for lunch, we'll need that as soon as possible so Tom can get the food ordered. I'm going to also share a copy of what I've called the bingo card. And so I'd like to share it with you and your organizations, with your families, with your friends. So you can participate. The idea is either in person or virtually. So for some of the families that can't make it out this way, this is another resource that we can share out to encourage them on the day to reach out to their legislators, follow on social media for We the People and a couple of other websites. So also to make it a little bit more fun, as right now there tends to be a lot of anxiety and stress around politics, and we're trying to make sure that you guys realize that we're all the same people and we're fighting the same fight, and really just appreciate everyone being there to help raise our voices together. So I'm going to show you, and this I had shared this document on our Facebook page. Again, this is a draft, and I will update it. Probably the next time you'll see it posted will be either probably Monday night before the DD day. But this is kind of a living document, and understand that this is going to be as best as I can make it. But this was my intent to try to, make this a little bit easier for everyone. So in this Word document, and again, this is on the Facebook group, this is kind of the way that I've broken it down so everyone can kind of get an overview of the day. I put, the time that the Capitol opens, the time the Capitol closes. Right now I have, committee meetings. They are color coded, blue for the House, this like orange red for the Senate. And then as I see the schedules posted, and if there's any bills that we might be particularly interested in, I've been putting those underneath, which meetings will be there with a link to the agenda on the bill. So for example, right here you see the SB 102 is being heard at 8:30 in the Senate Room 37. And so you can click there to see the agenda, the location, and everything they're going to be talking about. This is the ESC bill that we had mentioned before for workforce solutions. So as I see more of this posted on the Senate and the House
Stop there
side, I
for
will
one
populate it.
second. Hold on
Yeah.
one second. Explain a little bit more what that means as far as when somebody sees that, it's 8:30 in the morning. Do I go there first? What do I do?
Oh, good call. Okay, sorry. So first of all, I would suggest you stop by the table because that's what I would do. First is check in at the tables to get, information. We're gonna have flyers and stuff for you. So please stop by the table first to check in.
Now,
Uh,
you said this was going to be posted on Monday night too, so
yes, it is going to be posted on Monday night.
some of
Yeah,
those
so
opportunities of being able to go to a hearing, or if you chose that you read about it and you checked it out Monday and I want to speak on that, you won't
exactly.
want to come by the table. You'll want to be there before the room opens up, ready to sign a card, get a speaker's card, get in line and be able to do that. So not in general, if you wanted to observe it, come to the table, get the thing, get the schedule. If on Monday night, you've read this schedule and, ooh, I need to say something. Then, you know, plan accordingly. You need to be at these hearings 45 minutes to an hour, perhaps before. And you wait outside. There are speakers cards. You fill out a speaker card, and then they put those in order and call you in the order of those cards if you chose to speak. Sorry to
Thank you, Tom.
interject.
Yeah, no, that's important to understand. That's why I'm trying to make it so everybody can see what all's going on. In black here, you're going to see potential meetings that we have arranged with legislators already. So, for example, a 9:30 a.m. meeting with Representative Benaroch in the room 209 in the House. So the location is here. And then I've hyperlinked if you click the name, you'll get the actual information on that particular representative. So that way, as it populates, as I get more information, I will populate it here into the schedule, okay?
And
So
I will real quick on Representative Benaroach. She is my representative down here. She also was at the Collier delegate, what did we call it? The Collier Community Forum on Developmental Disabilities. She's a freshman and she's not serving on, there's one education committee she's on that could cross over. Actually, I think it does. But as a freshman who has an incredible enthusiasm for our population, we want to just keep her in the know, keep educating her through our stories. And so her aide reached out to me today and said, "When can we come? When can we come?" And that's a great sign.
And
yeah,
so understand when you are cultivating legislators and educating them, they have conversations with others that are on those committees that are in those things. And when they can begin to show the passion and as they gain comfort in their roles and they put their hands up for committee assignments they'd like to be considered for the next year, all these fruitful labors happen. And, you know, you could take someone like her and say, man, she has learned so much so fast about developmental disabilities. And as a freshman, to come in with that level of enthusiasm, that's the impact we're making. And that's what the goals are with these stories, with your visits, with your truth, is that it is not a number, it's a person.
so continuing on with the schedule here, Tom wanted me to make sure I also mentioned lunch. Right now it's we're going to say roughly between 11, 11:30 and 1 o'clock in the room 209 for those who did pre-register. So, and that's the information here. I also put that there's a dining room on the lower level of the Capitol. It has a cafeteria and then a coffee shop. That's important information I feel everybody should know on the 10th floor the Capitol. It's a fantastic coffee shop.
And a little heads up on both of those. Unless you are incredibly lucky or experienced, you will spend a lot of time in the elevator waiting.
Oh yeah, those elevators, they're
Oh man.
They're
So
fun.
if we're on the same
Yeah.
floor, route 4 to the second floor, we got to go between. You know, good luck if you want to do the elevators as much as you can, but don't expect to just, oh, jump on an elevator. No, it doesn't work that way.
Maybe Alex,
Um,
if he lives right around the corner, could go take a picture or video of the elevator because that's like a whole code
that's
unlocking
yeah, I feel like
system.
that's better
It's
experience in
actually
person.
not too bad. It's not too bad. There's a display. If you know what floor you're going to, you go to that display, you hit the floor that you're going to, and then a letter pops up of the elevator that you need to go to. So if it's you want to go to the 4th floor and you hit the button, it'll pop up on the screen. It'll say elevator B or E or C or whatever. And then that's the elevator that you go to, and it will take you directly to that floor.
Keeping in mind that the elevator may not be in front of you. You may have to go
Exactly.
down a hallway to the side. So, but it's something that once you're there, we can help you with. I think that I learned by doing. So that was an
And you guys are gonna
experience.
your table is gonna be in the rotunda.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna be
Yes.
you're gonna be very close to the elevators to be able to kind of
We
help
hope to be right back
It'll
where
be
we were
okay.
last year in the corner, right there by the elevators and by the
Right.
entrance to the house. And so we're right, floor. Everybody has to kind of walk right past you.
So
Yeah,
this
and
was
the rotunda that they keep speaking about is the
I can
center building. There's
sorry,
3 buildings
go
there,
down.
but it's the main building that you walk through, 2nd floor. Like it's very easy to find us there. And once you get to the table, then we'll have boots on the ground and we can help you navigate.
Yep.
So I have just the last bit of the schedule here. Again, I will make sure that this keeps getting populated. I have resources, a lot of resources here for everyone. So click here for all of that kind of information to check through in advance. Like for example, the FDDC has some really good advocacy tools. I have the Let's Talk advocacy Zoom to register for that. The slideshow that we just talked about for legislators that Stephanie put together, that's here. All kinds of stuff is on this. And then scrolling down, comfortable shoes, as Tom mentioned. Make sure you wear comfortable shoes. Also, I would suggest a bottle of water because they have places that you can refill water bottles throughout the Capitol. Then I talk here a little bit about preparing to do like a quick spiel of your story. And there's even a script here of how to prepare for that. And they say talk about 30 seconds, for one of them, because sometimes you catch a lot of people in those elevators, and it's a really great opportunity to, meet up with someone. I'll
Let
come
me
back to that.
interject one thing there on that. If you're driving up, it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity amongst a friendly crowd to practice with each other.
Yeah.
And, you can kind of get it down a little bit. So try that.
Yes, absolutely. I put a copy of the sharing your story with the QR code and everything that you can see here from what Stephanie's been putting together before. Oh,
And if you've sent me your story in the last couple of days and I have not responded, I have seen them and we will have them available as soon as I kind of get through today. I will send you back. I've had some email issues this week, but if you've sent me your story, I've had like 4 come through, and I just want to assure families that we will make sure that those get heard by our legislature. And if you haven't and you're coming
please
to,
do.
we want to make sure that you have something to hand. So if you are registered for DD Day or aren't registered and you're coming, um, please send a picture, a video, however you can. Follow those instructions, and that will lead you the way to have something that I can have for you to hand out.
Okay, so that's the information here, along with Stephanie's contact information at the bottom. Also, another copy of the bingo card that I shared in the chat, as well as,
Stop,
again,
go
this.
back to that. You spent a lot of work on that. Go
Oh.
ahead and for a second. Talk about that a little bit more.
Okay. So I just wanted something that was a little bit more interactive and a little fun. So, like for example, on the bottom here, it talks about which legislator's office has the best candy, because I've had a lot of people that go up and say it's better than Halloween because every office has candy or snacks or something. So, just something small that is interactive, posting your why on social media, calling, the sponsor of your favorite bill. If there's a bill that you really, really like, let them know that, because, I guarantee you that they probably deal with more phone calls that are not happy versus one that is. Calling your state senator and visiting the booths, so just checking marking off throughout the day. And this is, again, not just for people personally that are going, in person, but also virtually. You can still do this. You can still, visit the website of the FDDC or go by their booth. You can still go to the website for all the people, or go to the booth. You can still contact your legislator in person, in email or phone, and you can still check mark that box. So that's the, bingo card that we created for this, and I'll
And
have a
you
bunch
see
of
why
these
we
printed.
stop there? Because that
Yeah.
is, when you're, well, I don't know what to do. Yeah, you do. Pull out your bingo card, go to work, let's fill it in. It's once you start going, you gain some comfort. You start to go, oh, okay, this is not so intimidating after all. I can handle this, and it can be really engaging. And the truth is, we got a good story to tell. We've got purpose and we've got knowledge, and so that was a great job on that.
And
Um,
while we're on the bingo card, I also really want to recognize Nicole's perspective here, because my goodness, has this been a heavy start to 2025? And she came to me and said, I think we need to have a little fun because this will get very stressful if we're not all remembering that this is Developmental Disability Awareness Month. Like, this is our time, our day to go there and be families And so the bingo game, I'm all about. And, I also think if you're stressed out, come retreat in the room, come retreat in the table, uh, grab a buddy, just so we're families. And I remember my first year, I was like, I met this new mom and was like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna da 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 and I'm gonna change the world. And I had never been to Tallahassee. And she was like, you know what? I just love that we're moms and we get to go and we get to learn and we don't have to be the expert. We're parents and let's just go make this a fun experience. And I feel like that's Nicole. So the
Well,
bingo game, bring your fun. Let's do it.
and the other thing that really is truthful is, Nicole, you brought a lot of community collaboration, a lot of engagement, the community forum work that you've done, the things that you've done to be able to work across the aisle and to be about issue, not about party, and has been very helpful for many of us and have been a real asset to this organization. So, I think expanding our kind of formalizing some of the partnerships and the relationships and the messaging has been really helpful. So there's plenty to do in Tallahassee. Again, Melissa, I love the tips about the elevator. You're absolutely right. My encouragement was trying to get people not lost, but that we can be around when people come around so that we can influence and educate. And that's really going to be important as we have those, you saw people coming to us.
Yeah.
That's serious. That does not happen unless you've done a lot of work. So continue on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No, and I would also counter Stephanie's point that, a lot of family members consider themselves just mom or just dad, but really there's so much power that comes from just parents. And so not to underestimate, the weight that is given to your expertise as that lived experience. So don't ever let anyone make you feel less for that, because that is the most powerful tool that we have collectively. Um,
And
Again,
if you ask the folks at the Family Cafe call in just a moment, they will say that the messaging that we've done has made their ability to do the impact behind the scenes that they do work
right. No,
better.
exactly. I agree, Tom. This is just a very quick, this is my current template for bills. This is not all inclusive. I try my best again to scrub. So this is obviously going to be subject to change. I'm counting roughly 37, 38 that may have an impact. And there's actually some that I think might even open the door to an opportunity to impact our communities. So that may not have a direct, impact, but something that's, ooh, we might be able to start the conversation here. So those ones might be added later as we get going through session. But I also included this in the, don't feel like you have to take a screenshot or anything. It's in the document, so you can look at it later. And then here's the map I mentioned. So if you're looking at the Capitol here, okay, and then there's like the historic building in front of it. So this is the Capitol. All right. We're going to talk about like parking and everything. And so they talk a little bit about that down in the information down here. Um, Tom and I mentioned that some of the better parking that we've seen is usually over here by City Hall. You see
The
this area?
Klingman Plaza is
Yeah, right
actually a
here.
parking garage.
So, because there is parking closer, but I found it's a little bit more expensive, but it's your call. There's parking all throughout this area, but tend to look right around in here, this plaza, City Hall area. That's where I would look if you're arriving that day. But so if you're in the area here, there is this is the house behind this where it says enter here. You can go in and enter in the house and go through security. And then, you go up to I think it's the second or the third floor that has a ramp over to the main building. Or you can some people park down here and they come up, this way through the Senate. But the main, where they talk about the rotunda, that's here in this big building right in the center. You guys see that? So that's where the rotunda entrance is, and you're going to see it, that you can't miss it when you walk in front of the building. The entrance is right there. There was some construction before, so like this area was closed off, but I think it's open now. Melissa, you were there recently. Is it all the construction cleared off in front of the Capitol?
There was still construction that was going on, but you were able to get into the House, you were able to get into the Senate, and my understanding is that this week, the construction going on in front of the Capitol is done.
Oh,
So,
cool. Okay.
yeah.
So if I tell someone you guys should be able to walk, and then here's the easiest entrance right here in the front, should be good. If
Yes,
not,
the front or the back of the Capitol.
Or
The
the
back of
back.
the Capitol has
Oh.
been open the entire time that the construction's
Yeah.
been going on. So, but I wasn't there this week, but I'm pretty sure that it is open now, the front. So,
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. So this is, this is again at I think it's the last page of the document that I put together. So it's the map overall, and you guys can take a look at that, and then hopefully that gives you everything you need. And I'm going to stop.
Could you go back to that map for one more second?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Here we go. One more time.
See on where it says Appalachian Parkway and Union Bank, that corner there is also a whole lot of accessible parking. Right there at the corner, you have to cross the street and go through the old historic
Oh,
Capitol.
here's the Appalachian Parkway and whatnot. Yeah.
Right in there,
Down here.
where it says Union Bank and that
Union
corner.
Bank. Yeah.
So plan on taking
Okay.
time, again, if you're rolling, you've got to kind of keep an eye out for the ramps and make sure you've got a way to get there. Once you get in, it's very, very accessible. And we're excited to have you there. Where do we want to go from here, Steph?
Well, I'd really like to have, since this is our week before, if you have questions, I would like you to put them in the chat about DD Day so that we make sure that before we get off this call, we can get to them. And I wanted to make sure that I said that. If there's anything anybody wants to say, please put it in the chat. We're gonna wear orange if you've got it. You're gonna meet us at the second floor rotunda at our table. And we
We're gonna
have
hear from Melissa.
Melissa Mazeda on the call. And are you ready to go, Melissa? Sure, why not? Okay.
She's always ready.
sure.
She
Thank
is
you.
always ready.
I think that this will be good. And there's we were talking about like the amount of legislation that's out there, and I was speaking to Steve, who's also on here, Steve Moyer, last night, and he does a lot in Tallahassee. And there's a lot of just good bills, good legislation that is out there and stuff. So that's cool. The bingo card, I really like that. That's very, very smart. I like that interaction. As far as like the appointments are concerned, I know I saw in the chat, I know that Ben Roach is going to be there at 9:30 in the House. Buchanan's coming at 11:30. And then I know that Lily had told me earlier that she was working on trying to get Speaker Perez to come at 2:00. And then in the Senate, Senator Gruters is coming at 11:45. I'm going to meet with him first, and then I'm going to walk down with him. So Senator Gruters will be over in the Senate off the room number, I believe, is 42. And so he'll be coming there at 11:45. So that would be good if you guys, he's on I always get these committees messed up, the Health and Human Services Subcommittee, but he's also he's in charge of he's a chair of one of the other committees. He's also going to be running for CFO after Jimmy Petronis leaves. So and he cares about our folks. His office was instrumental in helping to restore probably over 40 Medicaids for iBudget waiver recipients. So he would be good for you guys to come and meet. And then anybody, like if you're able to reach out to your representatives, even like today or Monday, and let them know that you're going to be there and that there's a room in the Senate and there's a room in the House, that they can, come there. They can, visit you there. You, like Tom said earlier, you guys could go and stop by their office and let them know that you were there. And then I also I have been working with Alan we have somebody on this meeting right now, Jennifer Prosperi, who has been trying to help with raising money so that we could have some money to help families travel up to some of the committee meetings, which I talked about the last time. So that's something that we're already, we have like some donations that have come in. So, we'll be looking at that. It's not going to be just like a free for all. I'm sorry, we can't do it. We don't have that much money. I wish it could be, but I want to be very strategic about it. One of the things that I think one of you guys had just mentioned before, Tom, I know that you were saying like this is a chance for you guys to meet each other and collaborate and speak with one another. And, but then also, and I've been told this for years by Doug, who's the gentleman that's helping me navigate Tallahassee, but you guys have a lot of power as families and self-advocates. If you guys work together and you unite and you work on things together and you collaborate, you'll actually be even stronger. And I think that that's something that, there has to be like some people that kind of take charge and do stuff, but there's other families out there that if you're not really sure what to do or, what can you do? I think that you can, offer that up in the chat or something and reach out to some of the other families that have already been like kind of, really like trying to make things happen. And I would like to see more of that. I would like to see more, like when you guys are together at DD Day, more collaboration and just talking with, one another, meeting. And I feel like we've really gained some good momentum, at this point. And we have a lot of legislators that are interested in helping. And
So I got a
they
quick question for you.
need to meet.
Very,
Yeah.
very specific to you because you are so uniquely perspected with being with the waiver like me from the beginning.
Mhm.
And an area that has been particularly challenging is support coordination and the access to consumer-directed care. Is there a specific message in that arena? You were talking about the $50 million thing. Can you talk a little bit more specifically about that? Because that's a big hardship right now.
If you guys, I think as family members, you guys know that it's not like there's a plethora of providers that are out there. And the first provider that you absolutely have to have when you get on the waiver is a support coordinator. You have to have, and you want to have somebody who is resourceful and available and nice to work with and actually recognizes their role as working for you as, or, your loved one as the advocate. Not there to boss you around, not there to, give you a hard time, not there to, and I know that there's support coordinators out there who have that kind of attitude and reputation and stuff. And I would like to see the quality of providers really, really, really stepped up. I think that, having stability within the provider network, having people that do this and are lifers. That's what I look for when we're hiring support coordinators. I want people that are going to commit to doing this for, I don't know, like the rest of their life. That's what I want. That's what I look for. And I think that we can have that in the other provider realm as well. And if you look on APD's website, every single region has critically listed services. The service that is across the board that is critical is support coordination, and not just having anybody do it. You have to have, I think, particular people that you have to be able to mentor them. It takes a while to learn this job. It takes a long time to learn this job and to become really, really adept at it. But when you are good at it and you help bring stability to families and iBudget waiver recipients, people that I have fallen in love with the people that I've been able to serve over the years. And I feel honestly now that it's a privilege to be able to go into people's homes, see what's going on in there and try to help with whatever I can do as a resourceful person. And it's not just a matter of giving a family member a list and being like, all right, here, call these providers and let me know who you like and I'll get an authorization to them. Maybe I'll get the support plan to them. Maybe. That's not okay. It's not acceptable. So I really would like to see that we have quality support coordination, but then also with the other providers, quality providers. Last year, during, it was very late in the session, but Doug Broxton, or Chair Doug Broxton, who was chair of the Appropriations Committee, offered up $50 million to help with onboarding support coordinators and also helping to increase the quality of the providers in other service areas. And it's not, it can't be something, and I've resurrected that again. I've been talking about it since it happened last year. He came up with the idea, he understood the problem, and he came up with the idea, but it was presented during budget conference. So it was very late in the session, and the House didn't take it up because it was very late in the session. Anyway, so now I've been talking about it since then. Alan's on board with it. The DD Council's on board with it. I think everybody, why wouldn't anybody be on board with it? It's money that's there. It's already been identified. It's sitting there. If we can use that to help develop the provider base and not just anybody, you have to have guardrails on it. We understand where are the needs. We look at the counties, we look specifically and really try to figure out, like, where do we need these providers and those providers and the people on the wait list and what counties they live in. We have to have some strategy with it. It can't just be like, okay, here's $50 million and whoever wants to be a provider and hire staff can do it. Absolutely not. No. And I think that anybody that has a piece of that money, that we have to huddle up, we have to get together, we have to make sure that that money is not only being, allocated and spent in the right areas, but that we're smart with it. I am so tired of seeing money wasted in this program, and the I with I budget stands for individual budget. I get to see everybody's individual budgets. I get to see if you're on the waiver, if you're on CDC, I see what your money is. I see the money, I see the algorithm, I see all of it. I know there's money that's locked up in there. I think a lot of you guys know last year, $800 million in unspent funds, while 21,000 people are languishing on a wait list. Now there's something wrong with that.
The problem
So-
with you is you have no enthusiasm.
Zero
You're
passion.
Not at all. So the bottom line
it's a smart way to spend money.
Is
There's
that
a
money
smart way to
attached?
spend it. There's a smart way to spend the money. There's not a smart way to spend the money. But if you guys, and I'll wrap it up real quick, if you guys can help to elevate that, and I will make little packets. I will bring little packets with me that I'm handing out to the legislators. It's the language. It's the $50 million. It shows APD's website. And I have screenshots on 2 pages of 6 regions that show the critically needed services.
That's
I have
what
a
we're
couple of
talking about, baby.
emails from APD to say, we're begging you. We don't have anybody in this county. Okay. That money will help to do that. So if you guys can advocate for that, that would be cool.
That would be cool. And your technical assistance on that makes a big difference. Alan, are you still around?
Yeah, I am. How you doing?
Okay.
Wanted to make one comment about when you come up here. It may be better to get into the building through the House or Senate building. Those are the ones on the side. There's less of a line. And it's easier to get in if they're open. I think they're going to open at 8 o'clock, but all you do is go to the second floor and you can go to where everyone is. But the good thing is if it's raining, it's a little closer. You don't have to be in the rain so much, but I always go in on the House Senate side. Plus you might run into a senator or rep that you can talk to. Great comments, everybody. Melissa's right on. We can't expand capacity if we don't have more services, including waiver support coordinators. I will say I'm really excited about this session. Stephanie, Tom, all you, Nicole, you've all laid the groundwork, and being there is important. This is critical, and this really sets the stage. We're in there early enough before decisions have been made, and if any bill gets set that has a direct, because a lot of the bills haven't been set for Tuesday yet in the House. Hopefully that we get a couple bills set that maybe we can go there and make some comments, but we'll all keep you informed. But any support I can give, I'll be there. I don't have an orange suit, so I'll have to figure out what I'm going to wear.
You can dye your head red, orange.
What
I would
size are
hate
you?
to
Maybe
see
I'll
that,
get crafty.
but I have some orange bracelets that I ordered. If they get in time, Alan, I'm gonna have them on the table so everybody can have one of the orange bracelets if they come in time. So fingers are crossed.
Well,
But specifically, Alan, will you talk just for a second about the climate You know, when people are watching kind of the national news, there's a lot of angst. On the state level, we can't control what's happening in Washington, but how do you see that kind of question mark being handled right now around Medicaid?
Well, the House came up with a horrible budget that hurts us. They keep saying it's fraud and abuse that they're trying to get rid of, but there's not $800 billion,
No, I'm not
whatever.
talking about at the federal level. I was talking about how the state
Oh,
is
okay.
reacting to that in relationship to here we are promoting a really important element of Medicaid that serves a very specific population while simultaneously Medicaid is kind of right in there with inclusion and diversity.
Yeah.
You know, that how is that being handled?
I think our legislators are handling it well. They're keeping us separate from other issues they may be fighting, and that's good news. We're kind of unique in it, in the process. I know that we probably all support some other diversity things, but you know, we need to focus on ours where we have
Yes.
support. We don't need to get engaged in a bigger issue. And I've talked to lawyers about this too. Stay in your lane, fight for it, because we have bipartisan support and we need that. We don't need to get them not to listen to us because we start taking positions on issues that we don't agree with. On this issue, we have broad support, not just this year, but we got leadership coming up in the House and Senate for the 4 years after this leadership. So I think the movement's building. You guys are the movement. It's clear. Every year, the relationships get stronger, and we're going to be able to navigate through what's happening locally, even our federal issues. Because what's going to happen is they're going to shift responsibility to the state, and that's why this is even more important than we even realized before. Is we are going to have educated the people to the policymakers into what they need to know. And I'll tell you the one thing that if you get a chance, tell them you don't like mixing VR and blind services with 393 and getting rid of the name developmental. It would be a disaster for us. We would be invisible.
I think that changing the agency name, you had brought this up the other day. I actually think the agency might be onto something. And the Agency for Developmental Disabilities could be the new name if we're going to change anything.
I think
It's
we could try to do that.
I
think
think
it's
that would
great.
be,
Well,
you
so
know,
the point
very-
being is a lot of attention has been focused. You're absolutely right, Alan, that staying in our lane, staying on message, staying within the developmental disabilities issues that are so important. Even though we may have broad spectrums of perspective as on other issues, we are all laser focused together on this. Alan, we're going to rely on you and a few others to kind of give us that latest up to the date. You know, over the weekend, Monday morning early, kind of updates on things so we can be able to help maybe deploy families and people out to different hearings and stuff. But you know, thank you for your collaboration and excitement. I don't know, is anybody on from DD Council?
Well,
Oh, wait, hang
I-
on. Really
Oh.
important last thing. Is there cookies, Alan? Is there any cookies coming?
I'll talk to my wife. She actually is working this year, so it's a little different. But I
We'll
did-
wait
but
till
I-
June.
But I did want to let Fino know that I recognized him today on our CEO call about what you're doing. Hopefully, we can get other, you know, as we grow and grow, get more and more people involved. Hopefully, we can get everyone in the ARC to be like Fino and jump in. So it's a work in progress.
It's
Thanks,
definitely
Fino.
it's definitely an honor, Alan. I appreciate it, but it's about doing the right thing. That's how I feel about it. And I just to let Tom and Melissa know, I do not want a parent not to come because of financial. So if I have to help, I will. I do not want a patient that's wanting to come, but last minute we ran out of money. You got to let me know. I will make sure that parent is there.
We'll loop back with you on that. Thank you, Fino.
All right.
And I guess that really kind of shows the whole thing. We're across the board from support coordination to providers to agencies to families to the whole shooting match. Stephanie, I saw the finger.
Well, I see Sandy has like really hung in there with her hand, and I want to make sure that I say this, that our next meeting is in 5 minutes. So if you could do it in a minute or
Real,
less.
yes, just with the APD thing, you know, them combining everything, go to your thing you put together, and on page 77 and 78, where you put the history, and originally they pulled APD out because we were lost in the mix, and use that. And that should be in a talking point, whoever's making presentations, use what you did on 77 and 78 in your slides.
I love you. I'm glad you
And
caught
the,
that.
and the fact that you
So
got to 77 and 78 is impressive.
the
Now
yeah.
I could use some help from one of you guys helping me. I sent you a long text, Tom, that shows you that I'm too verbose. I'm overwhelmed and I still don't have anything put together, and I'm very upset with myself, but I need
Don't
some.
be upset. You can show up. It's all put, there's plenty put together. The thing that you bring to the table is the passion, the love, and the commitment of a family member, and you
But
are
I'd love to
well
have a
prepared for
paper and
that.
something for Michael to
We'll
say.
have that. We'll have that for you.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
let's
Okay.
get through it. Like I promise, I did see your email.
I just feel,
saw a couple stories. I'll make sure that I contact with you, but because the next meeting's in 4 minutes,
no, let's go. Let's go.
I
It's a
want to
good
go
meeting.
ahead and give everyone a chance to pee.
But 77 and 78 have a really good point.
That legislator university is something that I would really encourage all the families to
How
look.
do we hand
Not,
it to them in
not
a,
because we made it. I'll have stuff out. I'm gonna actually make QR codes to hand them, and
okay, QR code. Okay.
we'll have a visual too. Um, but that, if you haven't seen that legislator university, the links are in the chat. And this is something that didn't just come from me. This is months of research. I've interviewed a lot of our families that were not on the waiver. They were institutionalized. So that historical piece is really important. We don't have anything out there like that. And while the audience is our legislature, it's really for all of us. I learned a whole lot during this progress on this project too. And what Sandy's talking about is we were all grouped in a giant big organization, and that was too bureaucratic, which is why eventually the Agency of Persons with Disabilities was established. But with that, I really hope you guys will join us on the Let's Talk Family Cafe. I have to pee, so
And
uh,
we getting together beforehand on
You go
Monday?
ahead. I'll close it up for us.
Okay.
I don't think I can get off, but I'll just,
Okay.
bye.
Are we going to get together Monday?
You mean, are you talking about
Like
us?
Monday night, is there a way to get together and just, or is everybody going to be there earlier? I was just wondering if some of us, if I could go out to dinner with some of you guys or
I
something.
think once we just reach out by text and we'll all figure out where we are.
Okay, thanks.
You know, because there's a couple of moving targets for everybody's travel. But Monday's kind of a travel day.
Okay.
One of the things I'm hoping is possibly be able to get access Monday evening to our meeting room and get set up. If not, it'll be early in the morning on Tuesday
Okay.
morning.
Thanks.
Anybody else got any last comments?
I'm going to go
before
jump on
we
the other call.
shift over?
Tom, I'm so sorry. I got totally caught up today at work. So if you want to call me after the next meeting or give me a call tomorrow to work on that letter, I apologize. I just, it's the ARC.
You got it.
It's crisis
I've
after
been working on
crisis.
it. I got something for you to see. I think you'll be quite pleased.
Oh, I'm always impressed.
Okay, so we'll work on that. And again, everybody, let's just take a deep
What is
breath.
the next meeting? What is, I'm sorry, I was. I
Next
sat
Friday,
down a little late.
every Friday, like it's like every Friday at 3 o'clock from now until the end
No,
of the session.
after this one at 4.
Oh, it's called Let's Talk from the Family Cafe. And you can just go to Family Cafe, Let's Talk, and you can register right there. It'll send you the Zoom link. And it's really kind of primarily it's like legislative lobbyists. It may have been, Alan's been on that. You'll probably end up.
Yeah, no. I didn't hear because I signed on late.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what was starting, but I
Okay.
wasn't aware of it. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Everybody have a great weekend. Take a deep breath. We'll see you all next week. Bye.